just a PS, you may want to have,
Sorry.
we got it now?
I don't know. You keep talking and I'm going to play.
Okay, perfect. I was just going to say that you may want to have a pen and paper because Chris, I thought it'd be fun to have people get their wealth code today. We can just do that exercise pretty quick.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Let me just view this real quick. Thank you for taking over. I do see it live on the business page. I think, oh, yeah.
Okay, let me see now.
Yes, it's live now, but y'all, this is why we like to have a low-tech business.
Yeah.
Just saying. We
Absolutely.
Now, let me try my phone. Maybe my computer just doesn't want to tell us or something.
All right. Welcome, everybody.
Okay. Now, let me.
Uh-oh. Okay. I thought I lost you guys.
We're still here.
Awesome. Awesome.
Are looking for where we are in the world. Like, we're not shooting somewhere.
Somebody tell us where we are. We're in the quantum field somewhere. We're floating around.
We are in Shine Abundance now, and we're in Chris's personal meeting room. So I don't know if that makes a difference, but we are there. I can see it when I click on it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're on your business page.
Okay, perfect.
It's happening.
The meeting room is interesting. I've never done a meeting room before.
So I don't know if that makes
well, this is this Zoom room that we're in right now is my meeting room. So I don't know, did they put it someplace else?
We're on your business page.
That would be something new.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. But meeting rooms are interesting. Let's just talk about meeting rooms for a second. I've never used a meeting room. So does it not go on your full page? Is it just like, what is a meeting room?
I don't know. I just thought it was like your regular Zoom room.
Well, I guess we'll learn. We're going to do it and we'll learn.
So you know what we can do? We could actually, let's do this. I can stop streaming. We can try again. Where do you guys want to go? We can go in the Facebook group. We could go to my personal page. Or we can try back on the business page.
I like the business page, but not because I want to be able to share it in real time.
Yeah. Okay.
And it won't let me share it.
Okay, I'm going to stop this for now and then we'll do it again. So let's see.
Yeah, that way we can edit all the.
Okay, not on my timeline. So share to your page and it says select page.
And you might want to stop the recording and then restart it too, just so you can get rid of all this.
Will do. Okay, hang on. All right, everybody, we're back again.
We did it. I see us. We're doing it live.
Okay, so y'all, we just get to roll with it. So we get to have fun, even when tech gets wonky, because it's going to get wonky. So just expect that it's going to get wonky and you just get to flow with it. So not a big deal. It happens. But for those of you that are just joining me now, let me know that you're here. And you can also join us inside the Zoom room here. So I know, check your emails. Check the post on the business page below here. We put the Zoom link for you so that you can actually come in the room with us, have conversation with us. We would love to see you and connect with you and chat all things women having wealth, women being wealthy in their lives, as well as being well. So we get to be well and wealthy, and we get to have fun doing it. And I'm here with Lisa Limata and my friend Kaela. They are from Rise Leadership Circle. They are my very first business coaches. They are freaking amazing. Come join us here. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Kaela, for being here and helping me navigate the tech.
Oh, we're so glad. We're so happy to be here. And thank you for making it so that we could share it, because now I just shared it to my page and I'm going to look at how I can share it into our group. And I love getting to put it in all of the places.
Yay. Thank you for reminding me that we actually have the capacity to do that. How fun is that, right? That we can stream into one platform and we can share into another.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm going to throw it in our group right now, so that everyone can join us for this awesome conversation.
Cool.
Yeah. So while we're doing that, thank you for having us, Chris. It's so great to be here and to get to have this conversation with you. do you want me to just jump? I know where we left off last time. We were just introducing ourselves. Do you want me to
Yeah.
jump in there? Okay.
Please, yes, thank you.
As Chris said, we are Lisa and Kaela. We are the co-founders of Rise Leadership Circle. We are a mother-daughter duo. We've been working together for now in this capacity for about the last 4 years, which is so crazy to think. And we love to say that we work with soulful entrepreneurs to help them become well-paid and live a prosperous life, which is the key. And a bit of what we're going to talk about today. So, Kaela, you want to add to that?
It's just so cool that we get to do this. Like I was thinking about the other day, I've been doing a lot of posting around money right now because we coach on a variety of things, money being a big part of that, but I've been doing a lot of posting around money. And so I was reflecting on my own journey, and, you know, I saw some copy come through from you, Mom, for something we have coming up in a little bit. And I know that you were doing some reflecting on your journey, and it's just wild to think about how much transformation, revolutions can happen in really such a short period of time. And Chris, I know that was your experience too. So it feels really fun to get to, like, if a couple years ago, someone was like, oh yeah, on a Friday morning, you're going to wake up and have this conversation where you're supporting people to become really wealthy, I would have laughed at them. I would have been like, if you look at my bank account, you will know that will never be me. And so I love that this is our reality right now, all of us together.
Totally. Oh my gosh, absolutely. And this is such a powerful time for women that we get to normalize these conversations. You know, I know being a part of your community and being in my communities and other communities, I've had countless women say, thank you for just normalizing this conversation about women being able to claim and have money. It's not a shameful, icky, like, oh, if you talk about money, there's, you know, there's this, you know, you shouldn't talk about money when, you know, men don't have a problem talking about money. Men don't have a problem thinking about investing and building their businesses. And we need to have more of these conversations to normalize that this gets to happen for women. It's not just like for the magical few. If you've got a dream on your heart, and if you want to build a business, if you want to create something that you desire, you absolutely get to do it. And you can not only do it with, you know, ease and flow and still, you know, keep that feminine part of you that you want to keep, but you get to do that and be supported and lifted up in community. And I think that's so, so powerful. It's something that Lisa, you and Kaela have done so beautifully with the community that you've created for all of us.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Kaela, share with us about the wealth codes, because this is so super fun. I know this is something that you've been teaching and would love for people to hear more about that.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is just a spontaneous conversation where Chris is like, let's just get on and talk about money and wealth.
Yeah.
And she said, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, well, I want to talk about wealth codes because this is one of my obsessions. I have many obsessions and wealth codes is one of them. And so, yeah, I would love to share a little bit about what a wealth code is and just take everyone, you know, like in 1 minute through the quick exercise so that they can have that. And we'll just see where we go from there. Does that sound cool? Okay, awesome. So here's what a wealth code is. A wealth code is your personal recipe or relationship with yourself and with money. And that's it. It's just knowing that, oh, this is my relationship. This is my recipe of how I do money. And when I learned that that money is not one size fits all, that really opened up a lot for me. I can remember being I think I was in college. Maybe I was just graduating from college. And my mom, Lisa, was like, all right, it's time for you to really look at like how much debt you have, what's going on in your finances. And I was like, la, 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 cannot hear this, cannot entertain this. I honestly thought that my brain couldn't compute that. I have an English degree. So I was like, that high of numbers, can't even understand it. Like, won't work. And I remember that for Christmas, she gifted me a really popular money guru, which I'll say in quotes, that a lot of people really love. And I know people that have really benefited from this person's work. And I could not even open the book. Like I felt, and the reason that I couldn't open it is because just holding the book in my hands created so much shame for me, because I kind of knew the premise of this person's work. And I felt like for me to have to do money that way, I know that I'll fail. I know that I can't do it. And so I just felt so much deep shame and guilt for A, the choices that I've made, B, knowing that I wasn't going to change in that way. And so I used the book as a doorstop for my closet door. So that was like $26 well spent, Mom. And and I never opened it. And I went on for the next many years feeling a lot of shame and guilt. And so what I love about Wealth Codes is that it says, maybe that's your way. And if that is your way, that's awesome. That's super cool. But there's countless other ways that it can be for you. So that's what I thought we'd bring. Mom, do you want to jump in and share anything?
What I was just thinking is like, I wonder what the book was, because I don't remember this.
I do. I think I was just like, oh, nice. And like, but I remember like going back to my room, with all the Christmas stuff, like, cannot read this. And yeah. So, okay. So your wealth code is really like having your own personal recipe. And I always like to use the analogy of making a marinara sauce. And so, like, I think that most of us could agree that there's a couple core ingredients in a marinara sauce, things like tomatoes, onions, basil, salt, oregano. We would all agree, like, yeah, those are the kind of things that go into a marinara sauce. And we would all predictably, if I gave us all those same ingredients and said, go make a marinara sauce, we would prioritize those ingredients differently. Maybe some of us would be thinking about how we're going to slowly roast the tomatoes. And maybe some of us would be looking for fresh picked basil. And maybe some of us would be looking for sea salt from Iceland. We would prioritize those ingredients differently. And the same thing happens with our wealth codes. And so in our wealth code is comprised of 8 primary energies that all of us have within inside of us. It's like we all use the ingredients in our marinara, we just use them in a different way. And the same is true for our wealth code. So all 8 energies are there living inside of us. We just prioritize them in a different way. And what happens is once we know our priority, AKA our wealth code, then we can lean into that and we can see, oh, this is really what can support me to then step into, like Chris gives so many awesome exercises and practices, and here's how to grow your business. And you can take on those strategies from your wealth code. And it really works for everyone. So I have a quick exercise and I will share it with you. And that way we all know our wealth code. So this is how you get your wealth code. Super simple. I'm going to give you 8 energies, 8 words in alphabetical order. And you will just order them from your top priority to your least. And the one caveat is that you do this not in a way that's like, this is what I should say or what I think is the right order, because there is no correct order. This is what my true priorities are. And every single wealth code that comes through is correct if it is your authentic wealth code. So I throw these in the chat and then I'll read them out loud. So you'll order these from your top priority to your least. So the alphabetical order is accomplishment, celebration, connection, generosity, pleasure, possibility, respect, and transformation. And I did put those in the chat so people can see them as well. Yeah. Chris, do you know what your wealth code is?
Mine is number 1. Mine is actually accomplishment. I remember when we did this, which I love doing this. This is just so much fun. But yeah, mine's accomplishment. I'm a quick action taker. I love to get in there and do things. I love to implement. Accomplishment is here. My number 1, along with connection, and generosity is in there too.
Yeah. Mom, what's yours?
So my top 3, number 1 for me is connection. Number 2 is possibility, and 3 is transformation.
Yeah. Mine is 1 pleasure, 2 celebration, 3 possibility. And I love that just between us, we have almost all of them. Wow. Like we touched on almost all of them. Respect was one that wasn't in any of our top 3s. My husband, that's his number 1. So.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So just have fun playing with this and seeing what comes up for you when you think about, instead of, oh, this is the way that I should do money, to actually, well, what if this is my way to be in relationship with money?
I love that. Yeah. Can you share kind of like one? Oh, go ahead, Lisa. You were going to
I
say
was just
something.
going to say, I think that's, the feedback we had, doing this now for a bit with our community has been the relief that people have felt like, oh, like my way is actually not wrong, right? Because what's been handed down is like, here's the way to do money. It gets handed down from maybe our parents or society or wherever it comes from, right? And if that's not your natural way of being with money, then, often we make ourselves wrong, or, we're not prioritizing. Say, for example, people that have respect as like one of their top ones, they tend to feel, in a lot of cases, not for everybody, but they tend to feel like respect with money means saving and investing in a particular way. And for someone who doesn't have that, like they've prioritized their money different. And there's just like this sense of relief that comes through, like, oh, I can still be wealthy. I can still build wealth, pay off debt, have the life I want to have, and I can do it my way. And
Yeah.
it's really fun to watch
Oh
that
my
happen.
gosh, totally. I was just going to actually say that when you allow yourself to just claim whatever way feels good to you, you can implement whatever strategy it is that you want to implement, right? You can, but when you're doing it from a place of alignment energetically that feels really good and naturally you, things work so much quicker, so much easier, and in a way that makes sense too, instead of trying to find the one right way, the magic bullet out there. And I know everybody, in online, there's so many gurus, wealth gurus, money gurus out there that talk about this is the one right way to do money, or this is the one right way to build your business. And one of the beautiful things about you, Lisa and Kaela, is that you really allow people to see that, you know what, there's multitude. This is a buffet. Like, this is a bakery. You get to choose what you want. And when you're choosing it from here, when you're choosing it from your heart, it actually works so much better and so much more useful.
So true.
Yes. So true.
And
So true.
having this information also supports us to be in relationship with other people in our lives that have different wealth codes. Because instead of making us wrong or them wrong, it's like, oh, we have different wealth codes. And so it gives us some new language of, okay, this is how I know how to talk about money or really anything with anybody else. And, my husband and I have pretty different wealth codes. We both have possibility, as you and I do. So we both have possibility in ours, but otherwise our wealth codes look different. And so knowing that supports me to know how to have conversations with Tom in a way that has him feel safe and seen, and also communicates my desires. And I think it creates a lot of safety. Like I'm planning a surprise for Tom's birthday right now. So I can't say much because this is public and it's a surprise. But yesterday I texted him and said, I'm planning a surprise on these dates. Do you trust me? and that's
like,
it.
oh,
I'm,
no,
like, I'm not telling you anything more. But I think that for him, knowing that I understand what his wealth code is and how he operates allows him to feel some safety in that. Because if I didn't know that, he would probably be like, oh gosh, she's going to do something. Because for him, he's like, she's going to do something, she's going to send crazy money. And that wouldn't feel good for him. Tom would not be excited about that. And so by me knowing that about him, he can rest in that safety of like, yeah, I can be excited for a surprise because I know that she'll take care of me, knowing what matters to me too.
So good. Yeah, I think that we are, I have a very different wealth code than my husband does as well. So it's interesting when we do have conversations around, spending money or around money or what that might look like, when we can not see that, well, his way is right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and he's wrong, when we can see that there's room for both, that just opens up so much more freedom and even more possibilities into how you get to share what it is that you want to do with that too. I love that.
It really
and
does.
that makes me think about bringing that to a conversation of within entrepreneurs, because I think that there can be some comparison or judgment from one entrepreneur to a next. Like they're investing in that way, or they're making that kind of choice, or they're not doing that. And especially as we're starting out, we can feel like, well, how am I supposed to grow this business? Am I supposed to invest over here? Am I supposed to save all my money over here? Am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? And so having an understanding of how we really work then opens us up to say, okay, it does feel really good for me to invest in this coach, in this support, in this program. Or to invest over here or to save like this, and to not have to compare ourselves to other entrepreneurs, but instead to see every other entrepreneur and be able to really celebrate them because they're living in their alignment and growing their business in their alignment, and that there's many ways we can grow our business.
Yeah, totally. Lots and lots and lots of different ways to grow your business. Sure.
I think when we can take shame and guilt out of the equation, this is the place where truly anything is possible. Because if somebody's really hanging out in a space of like guilting themselves or feeling shame because they're not doing money the right way, you know, all of that sort of low vibe energy is going to really prevent you from manifesting what you want or believing in yourself to go for what you want. So this is a tool that really helps to clean all that up, like in a really simple way. And I think that's the power behind it, right? Because there's just a sense of freeness from the guilt.
I love that. Yeah, it is. It totally takes that judgment out of the equation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do people do, Kaela, once they kind of find out, like, you know, if they're like, okay, possibility, that's like my code, my wealth code, that, and, you know, I think one thing that I just wanted to mention here that I know that you've mentioned is that we're not just one of these, we're all of these. It's just that we tend to operate from, you know, top 1, 2, or 3. And so, but what do people do with it? Like once they know, like.
Great question. So just start to play with it, start to be curious. And the other thing that I love is, so sometimes people are like, well, what do each of these mean? And even that can be different for every person, you know, like all 3 of us can have a different interpretation of how possibility, what that means for us. And so this is really an opportunity to really just play with it. One of the things, Chris, I'm sure you're cool with this. So I'm going to do it because I think you'll be cool with it.
Yeah.
I do. Have you ever seen, Chris, the 88 practices that I have for wealth codes?
I don't know if I have or not.
Okay, so this is really cool. I have a PDF. I made 11 different practices that you can do for each one of these energies. And so like, if it is possibility, so I'll open it up and I'll read off.
I gave you, you're a co-host as well. So if you
perfect.
want to share your screen, you're welcome to do that.
Okay, amazing. Let me open it up, and
I have seen these. Now that you said that there's 88, you know, for each one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yes.
Okay, so let me share my screen because this is a really supportive way. So here's 88 ways to play with your wealth code. And so then for each one of them, so since we were talking about possibility, let's just go down and find that one. Okay, so here's possibility. And so these are 11 different practices that you can take. If you're like, possibilities in my wealth code, and I want to learn how to play with it, how to lean into it, you could pick any one of these. So for example, my eye is drawn to number 6 right now. Explore 3 ways that you could easily make $10,000 with ease. And so if this were me and I was going to take this on, I might either, you know, go on a walk or sit with my journal and just think about what would be the easiest way for me to make $10,000. And I would just start to think about like, oh, well, that would be one mastermind client, or that would be one one-on-one client working with me for 3 months. Or what's another really easy way? I would say, you know, there's been some people that I've been connecting with, and they've been telling me that they want to jumpstart their business. And so maybe I would make like a month-long container for $2,500, and they can step in, and 5 people would be that. And so that's just one thing that I might take on. And then maybe I play with number 10 around practice slowing down to speed up. And so I would think about, okay, so, because that's what possibility is about. It's about not just always going so fast, but both being in the pullback so the speed can happen. And so I would think about, how can I really slow down to speed up? And so what came to mind for me, if I was going to take this on right now, what I would do is I would go and really connect and nurture all of my clients that I have. I would be making sure that I'm connected with their goals, what they're up to, what's working for them, their challenges. And that's a way to slow down and be really present with what's here, and trusting that that energy of me being connected with my clients, engage with them, nurturing them, would open up space for someone else who's like, I want that kind of support, who just energetically knows. So this is a really great next step, is to have this resource. And so I would love to send this to you. So I'll just, I'll text it. So if anybody wants this, you can just text me the word wealth at 920 282-6613. I'll put that in the chat, but text the word wealth to 920-282-6613. And then I'll just send you this PDF and you can have the whole thing for all 8 of the energies. There's 11 practices for each.
Amazing. That is so generous. Thank you so much, Kaela. Can't wait to get my hands on that again and take a look at it and pick one today.
It's so fun, even to just, play with all of them and just to pick one every day. It's a really beautiful way to be supported as we grow our wealth.
How fun. That is so fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lisa, how have you found these work for you? I would love to hear more about you.
Yeah, it's so fun. So I think for me, oh, sorry about that. I think for me, it has been great. I think in terms of like our partnership too, is like, Kaela and I we've done a lot of work in our partnership this year in general. And I think this speaks into our wealth code in the way that we also create, right? The way that we spend money is similar to the way that we create. So it has been powerful also in understanding Kaela, my partnership, understanding Travis, my partner, understanding like this has been a great tool to work with our clients on, to just really see like, okay, well, let's take a look at this from the perspective of your wealth code. And now it opens up for you. And inevitably there are so many like ahas and like, oh, okay, I can see whether my, how to make my yes or my no based on this, or I can see where I'm working against my wealth code. So for me, I think personally in my partnerships in support of other people, it's been really, really awesome.
Amazing. So good. I love this. So one thing that I wanted to have both of you guys talk about, because, this normalization, just kind of circling back around to normalizing money for women. Lisa, you and I are around the same age. And I know that, I think that our mothers didn't have as much of the push behind them to say, yes, go, do anything that you want. I know my mom was actually recommended to go major in French when she was in college because she was just going to get married and she didn't have to make money, right? And, I think that today we get to support the young women and be more of a model to be able to step in and to create no matter where we are in our life, whether we are in our earlier years, when we're in our later years. I began to create my business, when I was in my late 40s, after, going through a divorce and being a stay-at-home mom for many years. So the possibility is out there, and yet there are still women that are struggling or still feel that it's not possible for them. So I would love to hear you and Kaela both kind of share your perspective on that.
Yeah, this is really important. And I think, one of the things that was coming up for me as I was listening to you talk is like, we actually need to see examples of it happening, and not just for the young women, but also like there are women in our generation too, who were sort of raised with a different come from, right? Of like, in order to be a good mom, like I just had this conversation with someone yesterday. Well, in order to be a good mom, I should only work on my business after I've prioritized every single thing my kids need, right? Yeah. And we just kind of looked at the belief behind that. She's like, well, that's the way my mom did it. She was always last, right? So she always, if there was time left over, if there was something, then she would, maybe spend that time on herself or what she desired to have. And so I think that we need examples. It's like you and I, like changing careers in our 40s and deciding to go for it. And it's one of the reasons I think people are so inspired by your story. Our story is because once you see it happen, you go, oh, maybe it is possible for me, right? Because there's enough people telling us you can't do that. You need to, follow the path laid out for you, which looks like maybe a 4-year degree, and then you stay with the same company for 20 or 30 years. Like that's starting to bust up, but that still exists, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the 4-minute mile, right? It was like, that was the thing nobody could break until someone did. And then one person did. And then guess what? Other people started to break the 4-minute mile. Why? Because they were like, had a belief it could be done. And I think it's really similar with this. The more that we can show people at any age, you're not too old, you're not too young. It depends on what you believe is possible for you.
Oh my gosh, so good. Absolutely. I was just thinking of that 4-minute mile, how people were just saying, nope, can't be done, can't be done, can't be done. And all of a sudden it was done. And then once it was done, everybody started breaking it. So fascinating.
Yeah.
And we see that in families and in friend groups. Like once one person says, okay, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, all of a sudden there's other people that are like, I think I'm going to also, or in friend groups, or it's even if they don't want to become an entrepreneur, like another dream that they had becomes, I could do that. I can have that. That could be okay for me. And so it's just when we're honoring what our truest desire is, it gives silent permission to those around us to honor theirs.
So good, Kaela.
And maybe that's to be a stay-at-home mom whose full-time job is to be a mom, or maybe it's to really love their career and be super happy in corporate America. Like it doesn't have to be entrepreneurship. It just is stepping out of the paradigm of there should be one way that all of us move through life.
Yes. And that gives you so much more freedom, you know, instead of thinking that there's one way and somehow you have to find the magical one way, or if you don't get it now, you're going to miss it, or, you know, it's going to somehow pass you by and then you're going to be stuck forever and you're miserable or whatever. That no, there are multiple ways. And, you know, for me, and I know for you guys too, the journey just is not a straight line up. It's the squiggly line that goes all over the place, up and down. And where you think you're going to start, you're like in so many different places. But the trust that you have to actually just keep following those next breadcrumbs eventually gets you to where it is that you want to go. Like when I first started my business, I had no idea that, like, if anybody told me that I would be helping other women build their wellness businesses, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, I just finished massage school. I have no idea what to do. I have absolutely no idea how to even start my own business. I'm like, just putting a shingle up. That's all I know. Like, let me just get a Groupon going. And, you know, here later, 10 years later now, it's completely different. But I think what I really want to say around this is none of us have like the A to Z on exactly it's going to happen on the way it's going to happen. And that's okay. We're not meant to. And we get to trust that things will open along the way.
Yeah.
True.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to share today, Kaela or Lisa?
You know, I would just piggyback on what you said is like, and just get into action, because we don't know the way until we take a step. You know, it's like you won't be able to see the full path laid out. It's like you actually just have to take a step and learn from that step, and then the next step is revealed. And so for anyone who's watching who's like, but I feel like frozen in this fear, or I don't know what to do, just take step one. That's all you have to do. That is literally how, and exactly what you said, it is like this up and down journey, but the steps reveal the minute you take one.
Oh, so good. Yes. And you know, for those of you that think, well, I don't even know what to take, the first step, you do, even if it's like reaching out to somebody and asking like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Do you have any ideas? Or looking at people who have what it is that you have and taking a look at what are some of the things that they've done, and just take that one next step and keep taking that next step. And that's exactly what I did. You know, when I opened up my massage therapy practice, I didn't know what to do. So I said, okay, how do I do this? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go ask my friend. She's got a massage. She owns a massage school. Like, all right, what's my next step? What do I do? And she's like, well, you can either decide to go work for a company, or you can open up your own business. And if you want to open up your own business, you probably want to start by figuring out how you could rent a room somewhere. I'm like, great. I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to be home and take care of my kids and be able to go to the soccer games and everything. So who do I know who might know somebody that has a space to rent? And so I just asked, and then they put me in touch with somebody else. And then from there, I asked that person, okay, how did you get your business going? What are some things that you did? And then again, we just get this feedback, and that leads us to the next thing, and to the next thing, and to the next thing. But I think the quickest business killer that I've seen in my clients, and also in my friends who have wanted to start business as well, is thinking that they don't know enough, and they don't have all the steps, and they don't have it all figured out yet. And so they can't just take that next step. And so anybody who's listening here, like, I promise you don't need to know from A to Z the way this is going to look. Just take one tiny step forward. Yeah.
So good. Thank you so much, Chris, for having us on. And you have something going on Monday.
Oh, I do. Yes. Thank you for asking. I am doing a special workshop. It is for women wellness entrepreneurs. So if you are a health coach, life coach, holistic practitioner, nutritional therapist, herbalist, anybody in the wellness field that is trying to get their business off the ground or build and grow their business, I'm creating a workshop, or I have created a workshop. It's called Create a Cash Infusion. And what I'm teaching are some short-term steps that you can take to start bringing in income now. This isn't like the long-term method or strategy. I do teach that as well, but these are the short-term steps to come into community. I've got a workbook for you. It's totally complimentary. You can absolutely join me. And I'm going to start sharing with you what are some of those practical things that you can do to start creating income in your business in the next 30 days, in the next month.
Love that. Who doesn't want to make income in the next 30 days?
Yay!
Yes.
And together.
Awesome.
Together.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us on, Chris.
Yes, before you guys go though.
See each other soon in real life. That's going to be so great.
I want people to know where they can find you though, and what you guys have going on too, because you've got some cool things coming up. So can you share, how can they find you and what do you have going on?
Yes. So you can hang out with us either on Instagram at riseleadershipcircle.com or not .com. Oh, that's our website, but just at Rise Leadership Circle. On Facebook, our private group is called, this is a mouthful, the Prosperous Entrepreneurs Power Pack. And if you were into the wealth code stuff that we did, I just did a 45-minute pop-up workshop earlier this week, and it's pinned in there. So you can just request to join that group and then get the full workshop on wealth codes, which is super powerful. And you can join us in Savannah. That's like we have some other things coming, but the next real big thing is Savannah in November. The next thing that we have publicly announced already. We actually we have more things coming at a time. We just one thing at a time.
Yes, get in their world, people, because they've got lots of cool stuff. It's so much fun. The community is fun. The information is amazing. The inspiration of being in community and learning from you two is invaluable. And I'm just excited that I've been on this journey with you guys for 4 years. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we're so grateful for you.
Sure.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. By the way, if you are on Facebook and you have a question, know that we will circle back around. We will answer those, I promise. So if you are wondering how to get the PDF, we'll definitely, that Kaela was sharing on the 88 ways to use your wealth code. We'll share that with you. We'll give you links to Savannah. We'll share links with you for the Create a Cash Infusion workshop. And we just can't see the comments right now since we're chatting here in the Zoom room, but promise we will circle back around and get you.
Yeah, just tag us so we see it. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris.
Thank you guys. Love you so much.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye.